Good evening. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners, St. Charles Parish Housing Authority, Tuesday, February 27th, 2018. The time is now 6:03. Call the meeting to order. We'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We'll now take a roll call beginning on my right. And state your name for the record.
Leela Jackson, Program Manager.
Webb J., Chairman.
Commissioner Bailey.
Commissioner Rodney Woods.
Chris Miles, Supervisor.
Elisa Grissom, Housing Manager.
Lieutenant Richard Oob, St. Charles Sheriff's Office.
Charles Taylor, Section 8 Inspector.
Thank you. And also be sure when you speak that turn your microphones on. Yeah, just make sure the light's green. All right. So the first agenda item is for the review of the minutes from the January 30th meeting. Do you have any discussion or motions from the board?
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the minutes as presented for our January 30, 2018 meeting.
All right. Motion made by
Second.
Commissioner Woods, second by Commissioner Bailey. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. We have a resolution this evening. It is, we have a copy of that in here?
Yes, we do.
It is resolution number 17-06-27-47. This was previously brought up at 4 other meetings. It is the resolution approving the updated SCPHA administrative plan. Whereas St. Charles Parish Housing Authority must have an approved updated housing choice voucher administrative plan. And whereas the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority developed a draft plan and requested comments for more than 45 days through physical postings, advertisements, and website postings, and whereas all received comments and concerns have been reviewed, incorporated in the final draft, and are now submitted to the board for approval. However, due to the length, complexity, and importance of the plan, it was recommended that the board allowed the resolution to be read at the following 2 meetings and considered for final approval at the September 26, 2017 meeting. Whereas 4 meetings have now passed, the plan is on the agenda for approval. And now, therefore, St. Charles Parish Housing Authority Board of Commissioners will now hear motions and entertain discussion. Any discussion from the board?
No, sir. I just would say I noted the few changes that we did discuss were included in the changes.
Okay. And I think we all have a copy of.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any discussion, any further discussion from the board?
I think it's time.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pass a motion to approve Resolution 17-06-27-47, approving the updated St. Charles Parish Housing Authority Administrative Plan.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Bailey,
Second.
second by Commissioner Woods. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. All right. Next on the agenda is the Sheriff's Department. Lieutenant Oob, thanks for coming this evening.
Okay, how you doing?
Sir, good evening.
For the last month, we had 42 hours of patrol time through the housing areas, and we didn't have really any major incidents during this reporting time. I did speak to Miss Lisa. She contacted me the other day. We're having a little bit of an increase in four-wheelers. I'm sure you guys saw it, like the Mardi Gras things, these guys riding on the streets, and she saw a few of them, so I did notify our guys that we have some requests out there for that. It's kind of a parish-wide problem, at different times, and there are guys, four-wheelers, golf carts, that kind of thing. But we are aware of that and are, actively looking for, any of these guys, or even, I think she said they come from further down the street on Booty Estates, coming up towards the housing project. So, but we're on the lookout for them. But really, other than that, we really haven't had too much, anything bad going on. So,
Very good.
Good news. Any questions or comments from the board? All right,
Thank you.
okay, guys, thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
appreciate it.
I'll see you guys next time.
All right, the next agenda item is financial report, review of low rent and HCVP expense reports for December 2017. As stipulated from our meeting with HUD, we do not have to actually vote for approval. This is a matter of review, and we're accepting it into the record. So if we have any questions or anything that we want to look at on this, we'll try and get the answers. So our fee accountant is not here this evening. He had prior obligation for tonight, but he is going to be at our meetings moving forward.
Okay.
So, any questions or? All right. So, just note it for the record that the low rent and the housing choice expense reports were received for December 2017 by the board. All right. So, we did receive a letter dated September 27th, 2017. It was addressed to me. I believe all the commissioners were CC'd on it.
Yes, sir.
From the Department of Housing and Urban Development. I actually did not receive the letter until, I think, a month and a half later, or sometime in December even. It was sent to the Acadiana Housing Authority by mistake and then forwarded to me. So, anyway, we have the letter before us this evening, and it is now open for discussion, review, and then if the board has any comments or questions about it.
Have we begun, and I think the answer is no, but I'm going to ask anyway, just some of their recommendations that were in the letter? Just one, they say they just strongly recommend that we amend the bylaws to do certain things. Have we begun that process, or we?
That has been, as far as the bylaws go, that was in a recent discussion with Mr. Landry. So we're working on that.
Okay. Some of the, and again, I did get the letter and read through it a couple of nights ago and last night. Some things that they were found, and it's their word, I hate to use it applying to us, but they did use the substandard.
Correct.
And some of it was physical stuff.
The majority of our low score was in the area of the physical condition.
Have we started I would say it's already identified for us by them. Have we started a process to correct some of those?
Ms. Jackson, you want to speak to that?
Yes. Commissioner Woods, yes, we have. What we do when HUD comes out and they conduct what's called a REACT inspection, where they go in and they inspect approximately 25 units, and those units are scored, and that's how we receive our overall score. We go back, we take their inspection, plus we go back, and when the manager goes out, she does an inspection, so we make REACT inspection work orders. We take HUD's work orders, and then we start the preventive maintenance. And you would have to kind of see the report. The report is maybe about 40 pages long, and there are different areas where we're graded on. We're graded internally inside the unit. We're grading on the grounds. We're graded on what they call systems, and systems would be the stairs in our case, the playground areas, the fence line. So it's like 4 different parts, and we get scored, and then we get points taken if there's something wrong. For example, if there's a hole in the door, a hole in the wall, overgrown vegetation. So we have started to work on
And as we're correcting those things, we started some kind of documenting checklist or
yeah,
something?
what we have and what she keeps is what's called, they're put into the system we have, and it's called annual inspection work orders. We have special work orders, and then we have REACT work orders. We have to, when they send their findings, we have to make all corrections. Where we basically scored low, what's called, we're graded, and there's exigent health and safety. We have several, well, majority of our windows won't stay up, and that's called a blocked egress. So we lose a lot of points on blocked egress with emergency and health and safety. So we've begun, and the previous director had started doing contracts to turn over units and purchase new windows. And the board chair and I had several discussions on how we may be able to get it done all in one contract, or even with getting donations from different places on helping it.
Okay. I don't know, I've just lost a lot. Move on, I just lost my...
Okay. I just would like to, in talking about our score on that, so really in all areas, HUD really gave us either exceptional scores.
Yes.
For instance, in our capital fund program, we got a 10 out of a 10. In financial, we got 23 out of 25 points. I mean, really, the only area that we scored poorly in was in the physical. And a lot of that is just,
Of old units,
we have extremely old units that need
need modification.
some modification. And I think some of them, as they become vacant, are going to go into that mod program. So, yeah, it's a work in progress. But that's really where we suffered in this last inspection. So, that being said, any other questions or comments? All right, any,
Wait, when's the next REACT?
That's what...
It's going to be in December. In December
That was
of
my
this year.
question.
Usually it was around, we had it on the 29th the last time, so it'll be like between the last of December or early in January. The contractors bid, and then they schedule. But we know we will get an inspection this year.
Right.
And I know they identified some, I'll say some major infrastructure things, water lines and stuff like that. We've kind of identified some things and have some type of plan to address it.
In reference to our grade for REACT? Or
No,
just-
I guess my question was just that I know there was some, say, we know we're in old buildings and old infrastructure. And I think one of the items we identified was water lines, was major things. So have we put some kind of plan or thought process in place to begin to address it? And one of the things HUD recommended in there was to go for other sources of funding, local parish or state or whatever. So I'm just, is there some thought pattern to begin to address long-term infrastructure issues?
Basically, yes, we have looked into it. We put it into what's called a 5-year annual plan, and that's something that the Housing Authority, I'm not sure if you guys have a copy, but I'll make sure I'll get a copy to you
Yes,
guys.
if you
The
would.
5-year plan, and it didn't necessarily address the water systems, because we know we know that's big. We were trying to address actually the apartments, because that's where we're falling into the
Gotcha.
physical substandard,
and Ms. Jackson, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but, so the 5-year plan, that's something that we reevaluate every year.
Yeah.
And it's adjusted every year.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 year's
per-
added and the
And
previous year
another one's
drops
taken off.
off.
So we look forward 5 years, we adjust per year as we need to. So, okay. Any additional comments from board members? Any public comments regarding that letter? All right, seeing none, now get a update on the agency from the program manager. Ms. Jackson.
Okay. Under routine, the staff is currently tagging participant folders in preparation for the upcoming audit. The annual audit must be completed and submitted to the legislative auditor's office no later than March 31st. I spoke with the auditor on yesterday, and he's planning to come maybe the first or the second week in March. We have a box where we're preparing items that he's asked for to mail it to him. The fee accountant mailed him financials, and then when he comes in, their folders and files and the participant files that he'll audit when he gets here. So we have to have that in to the legislative auditors by March 31st. To HUD, it has to be submitted by June 30th. The employee W-2s were released and landlord 1099s were mailed out on January the 31st. The local HUD office in New Orleans is hosting a free training series. This series is a 1.5-day training scheduled on March 20th and the 21st, titled Detecting and Addressing Hazards from Mold. The training uses a combination of lecture and interactive exercises to inform the public housing agency staff about mold detection, causes, health concerns, and remediation procedures. This training is free for public housing. They're holding it in New Orleans, Alexandria, and in Lake Charles. What I have tried to do, and I've spoken with the chairperson, we're going to try to send our public housing staff for sure, because there's a big problem we had, and we even had mold in the last 2 units that we had under contract. So we need to know how to detect it and maybe abate the emergency before it becomes big, where we have to go out under contract. It's free, so the only thing we'll use is travel. We can use the company car to go there. It's 8 to 4:30 on one day and 8 to 12 another day, and we'll have enough staff to cover on that day and a half. So I strongly suggest, and I'll get with Commissioner Jay and let you guys know. But I do want to send the low rent staff. I want to send the maintenance repair, the public housing manager, and maybe one manager from the Section 8 department, because they do inspections and they have to detect the mold also.
Okay.
I know we just put on there that the St. Charles Parish Housing Authority staff will now attend the board meetings as requested. Under Tennessee, the resident meeting was held on Tuesday, February the 22nd. I have see a closed agenda, but it wasn't available at the time that we were packaging the board packet, so I asked Ms. Grissom to give you guys a short report on the resident meeting on April the 1st. The implementation of the smoke-free is going to be effective. We've sat down and we've talked about it, and we've had them in the meeting. It's going to be slow at first because it's smoke-free everywhere, from the office all the way up to 50 feet past the property line. So that's in and out of the units, on the streets, in vehicles. So it's going to be kind of hard for us to police, but we're going to give it our best.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we have another one. The flat rent increase will become effective on April the 1st. This does not affect everybody. In the next resident meeting, we're going to have a big meeting and try to make it clear, because it's income-based. HUD is trying to get rental rates to increase revenues, so that's why they're trying to, they set a goal of 80% of the fair market rents from public housing, and that's a flat rent, and those are for the higher income residents. So we did have a lot of residents worried about, rent going up and they can't afford it, but it's based on income, and it's going to be at their annual, and the housing manager will conduct that with them, and then they will get another 60 days before that rent actually increase on them to give them some adjustment period. Sabrina Lewis, she's the owner of One Shot Education. She will be awarding a $500 scholarship to a Lucky High School senior who lives in public housing. The applications will be accepted online starting Thursday, March 1st, until April the 15th. It's called the Adrienne Marie Scholarship. And the Adrienne Marie Scholarship is dedicated to Ms. Lewis' deceased mother, who resided in public housing in Boutique from 1980 to 2001. Under the HCVP program, the VMS report was submitted to HUD by the April 22nd deadline. It was actually submitted on the 21st by the fee accountant. On Friday, February the 16th, the HCV managers mailed out eligibility packets for the top 50 applicants from its waiting list. The deadline to return the required documentation to the administrative office is March 7th. They have been receiving this daily. I'm not sure if you guys were aware, but in the HCV program, we have a total of 373 vouchers. We have 270 filled. We're at 72% lease-up rate, and this time last year, we were averaging 46 to 48%. So they have really been leasing up, and they're sending out letters at 50 increments to try to get up to that 373 where we're 100%. In the maintenance department, the repairs are busy working on vacant units to bring them back online. The 30-day goal for the turnaround from move out to actually move in, we're working closely for that. Emergency work orders are abated, and they're completed within 24 hours. We're still having some plumbing issues. However, they're in the units, and we haven't had any problems with the major lines in just about a month. Arc and Extermination sprayed the perimeter of each building on Tuesday, February the 20th of 2018. An RFP with one amendment for 3 units was advertised with the proposal due date of February the 9th, 2018. The Housing Authority received 1 bid from SRR Contractors. It is my recommendation not to award this work at the current time. The reason for this decision is because of the discrepancy between the actual number of units advertised versus the actual number of units available. We advertised 3 units. We only had 2 available because I had assigned maintenance with one of those units, and they have repaired it, turned around, and it'll be moved in tomorrow. So just to give everybody a fair try, I think we should reject that 1 bid and then re-advertise.
Just re-advertise. Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Right.
And the only other thing is, everything I read to you, I just have a copy of it attached at your later review,
Okay.
about the training, everything that I just went down. Unless you have any questions, we have all the staff here. We have the maintenance supervisor, we have a public housing manager, the HCV manager, and as Charles said, he's maintenance / he does inspections for HCVP, and he does maintenance when he's not doing HCVP inspections.
Okay, so what I'd like to do, since this is the first meeting that y'all are actually in attendance where y'all will be given the opportunity to speak, I'd like you just to introduce yourself to the board and then just give a brief summary of what's going on in your department. Doesn't have to be anything real detailed, and then if the board has any questions for you, we'll just start right over.
Chris Miles, maintenance supervisor. Right now, we're working on 2 units, apartment 53 and apartment 219. We're trying to get them turned around. They need 30 days. And got a lot of grass that need to be cut. We need to get a lawn mower soon because it's really getting high. We've been working with like a push lawnmower and weed eater to cut the big lot. So, and
Did y'all previously have another type of lawn tractor? Or
yeah,
something?
we had a ride lawnmower, but that one had broke, and the other EED, he was supposed to get another one.
Okay.
But
All right.
Is this, what about, I know we had some problems around the fence line. Is that where the grass is growing high? That we still need to work with the parish and maybe try to get them to help us out with that?
We still need that help, but this is our property, like the playground areas and the vacant areas we cut, and we cut grass for the first move-in. And so, since we've had some hot days, the grass is really growing fast.
Yeah.
yeah, and with the fence line, we could spray that with the weed killer to kill most of the stuff on the fence.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Sounds
All right.
good. Thank you so much, Chris.
I'm Elisa Grissom, the housing manager. Tomorrow I will be housing an applicant from the waiting list for 47, and I'm in the process of looking for someone for 219 and 53. And I'm tagging audit files, closing work orders, and
Tell them about your meeting.
Okay. The only thing that I'd like to add to that is, because this seems like as good a time as any to add it to the agenda, and I'm not putting you on the hot seat or anything. Don't worry. I received an email today. It was, I don't know if it was sent to all the board members, but it was sent to me and Ms. Jackson, where HUD had said that our vacancy report showed that we were at 94%. The goal is 96%, which effectively means we need to be at 124 units out of the 129 that we have. And so they were requesting an occupancy action plan to HUD by March 16th. Right before the meeting started, Ms. Jackson and I had a conversation that said that the report is essentially outdated, because if you want to give us an update where the report was when it was submitted to HUD and then where we are today.
What a report is, we have an occupancy agent report that HUD looks at, that we give to the board, but it runs 30 minutes late. 30 minutes behind. 30 days. Wait, I'm sorry,
You
guys.
got it. That's all
30 days. And it was up to January 31st. We did have 7 vacant units. However, as of today, we fill 2 of those units, and 1 will be filled tomorrow. As of today, we are 96% leased, so what I will do is upload that. I will contact Christina tomorrow and let her know that these units are leased. She can log into PIC. HUD has an authority. She can log into PIC, and she can see that they are leased and they have been sent to HUD. When we fill the unit tomorrow, it'll actually be 3, and we'll only have the 2 vacancies that the maintenance staff is working in, and the 2 that are out or that proposed for contract. So unofficially, we are 96% leased, and I'll call her. She sent it at 4:30. I didn't see it because I was trying to scramble and get myself ready and make notes for the meeting. Had I known, I would have emailed her, but I'll email her first thing in the morning and even, walk through it with her and let her know that we are at 96%.
So that sounds like progress.
Yes, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Michelle Livingston, HCV Manager, Section 8 side. It's myself and another young lady, Ms. Jackson, that operates that department. We're currently processing annual re-exams, annual inspections for the months of April and May. Try to stay at least 30 to 60 days ahead. With any of our re-examinations that we have, we're also processing contracts for new tenants that have found a place and leasing up. As a matter of fact, we have 2 contract signings scheduled before the end of this week. As Ms. Jackson also stated, we just sent out 50 packets for persons that were on the waiting list that came up for the working preference. Eligibility criteria must be in by the 7th of March. From there, we'll score, send them either a congratulatory letter or letter advising them that they're denied for whatever reasons. From there, we try to turn around at least another 2 weeks to get them with their vouchers in hand, a briefing set up to explain the process of the department and how Section 8 works, and get them out seeking more housing. Of course, that leads to getting new landlords on the program, and we encourage, if they are living someplace, to lease in place, because that gets our lease-up numbers turned around quicker so that we can reach our quota and our goal to reach that 373. We're processing port-ins and port-outs where families are interested in either residing here in St. Charles Parish from another jurisdiction or leaving our parish, going to another jurisdiction. Of course, answering phone calls on a daily basis, responding to emails, and just trying to do everything according to the regulations of the HCV program.
All right. Thank you. Any questions? All right.
I ain't got to say that much stuff, huh? Oh, all right. My name is Charles Taylor. Do Section 8 inspection, low rent inspection, along with Miss Elisa Grissom. Do maintenance work under Chris Miles and the rest of the guys, and basically anything Ms. Jackson asks for me to do. That's what I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I have a question.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Ms. Jackson just gave me that look.
All right. Okay. At this time, I don't know, Mr. Landry, did you have anything that you wanted to share with the board, or?
Only the litigation and stuff that we need to talk about in executive session.
Okay. All right. Well, at this time, yeah. Do we have any public comments or anything from anyone? Okay. So at this time, the board, the chair will entertain any motions to move into executive session.
The chair, I'd like to pass a motion, move to executive session.
All right. A motion was made by Commissioner Bailey,
Second.
second by Commissioner Woods. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. So at this time, 6:34, leave the regular meeting, and we'll go into executive session. And if y'all will all sit tight, we'll be back shortly.
Yes, please.
All right. At this time, the chair will entertain motions to come out of executive session.
Mr. Chair, I move that we return to regular order.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Woods, second by Commissioner Bailey. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. The time is now 7:15. That motion carries, and we are now back to our regular meeting. At this time, does the board have any comments or questions about anything from the meeting so far, or any public comments?
I just would like to say to the staff, we just appreciate all that you do. And moving forward, we just any questions, any comments through Ms. Jackson or whatever, just please come to us. We look forward to continue working with you and just to get this agency where it needs to be. So we really appreciate what you're doing out there. We really do. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
All right. Any motions at this time from the board?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to pass a motion that we end the meeting at 7:16.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Bailey,
Second?
second by Commissioner Woods. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. The time is now 7:16. We are adjourned.